in the story of the boy who cried wolf. And I think a lot of us are familiar with that beautiful story. If the boy had taken the feedback that was given to him, he would have saved his flock. But the boy, as we all know, did not. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Junction. My name is Toyin. We're going to be talking about feedback. In life, God has designed inside of every one of us to achieve greatness. But there are enablers on our way to achieving the greatness that can help us get to that destination. And there are disabler, I call them, that becomes blocker in our way of achieving the greatness that God has for us. So criticism or feedback is an enabler that will allow us to become the God version of ourselves that will position us to achieve the greatness that God has for us. So what is feedback? Actually, in the book of Proverbs 29 verse 1, and I read, it says, whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. This is in Proverbs 29 verse 1. What is feedback? Feedback is a mechanism, or we can say a piece of information or advice that is given to somebody, right? Based on an action they have taken or that they did not take, in order for them either to stop doing what they're doing, or to start doing something, or to improve upon something that they're already doing. Without feedback, we will never grow. Feedback is meant to mature us so that we can be that version, the good version, the God version of our life. Plants needs to be pruned. The dead leaves, the dead branches that are not allowing the plant to flourish. The gardener or the farmer goes in and prune or remove those. This is what feedback is to us as human. This is what feedback is. So now that we have defined what feedback is, we all receive feedback every day. You receive it at work, you receive it in your relationships, whether you're married or you're single, you receive it with children to parents, parents to children, businesses, everywhere. Everywhere you are, as long as you're in contact with people, you're going to be receiving feedback. And feedback is important. In fact, Jesus said in the book of Matthew, when he was on Mount Olive, in the Beatitudes, he said, remove the log that is in your eye before asking your brother to remove the speck. Why is that? Because it's very difficult for us as human. It's just one of the weaknesses to see our weaknesses, to see some of our shortcomings. We think you're perfect. Have you ever mentioned something to somebody, or somebody mentions something to you? Oh, you're always defensive. You're like, me? No, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, seriously. Ask this as a person, ask this person. Everybody say, yeah, you're a little bit defensive. You're like, oh, I didn't realize it. That's just the shortcoming of human. And we just have to accept it. There's nothing that you can do about it. What you need to do is be open to receive feedback and act upon it. So we talk about what feedback is. Why is feedback important? Because it allows us to mature. It allows us to continue to transform our lives so that we can be the better version or the God version of our life. That way we are better positioned to attain the greatness that God has for us, to be successful, to be the best that we can be. So how do we accept feedback? Because listen, I have to tell you, feedback is not easy. I gave that story of the boy that cried wolf. Feedback is not easy. To the boy's defense, he was bored, right? To him, he was just bored and he wanted a little bit of fun. He didn't see it as anything harmful. And on the surface level, it's truly not harmful. But to the people that has been doing it too, it is. So it's hard to take sometimes because you're like, I'm trying here, especially when you're trying to help people and they have feedback that is negative. And you're like, I'm trying to do the right thing here. So sometimes feedback are hard, but it is essential for our growth. There are many places in the Bible, especially in the Kings, a lot of kings that I guess is just an ego thing that refuses to take the feedback that God was giving them. They were destroyed. And as we read in Proverbs 29, verse 1, if you refuse and stubbornly refuse to ever take criticism, you will stagnate yourself. That weakness will become a blocker and hindrance in your life. So we talk about why are things not working for me? Why am I always hitting roadblock? You might want to reflect and see what are the things that I'm doing that I can improve upon. So let's talk about how to receive feedback. One thing you have to know is that it doesn't matter the source of the feedback or the circumstances that surround the feedback. The feedback is still the feedback. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you're at work and a coworker that is very malicious to you, that is very negative to you, that is very unfriendly to you. Give a feedback about you. Now, it doesn't matter that feedback is coming with malicious intent. You as a person, a transformational person, a person of greatness, still need to consider that feedback because there might be truth in that feedback. They could be using your weakness against you. So it doesn't matter whether that person is friendly or unfriendly. You that is receiving that the feedback is being given to should at least receive it, consider it. That doesn't mean it's true. So let me quickly give you the steps and we'll explain as we go on. The first thing is to always accept feedback. That doesn't mean that you agree with it. You're just receiving it. Like, okay, I'm going to consider this. Now that you have received it, pay attention to it, hear it. The next step is to analyze it. Is this truly a feedback for me? Or is this person just trying to stir up trouble? It could be that they're trying to stir up trouble. Then perhaps it's irrelevant. But it could be that it's true. And even though maybe that person is negative, right? But this is a weakness that you have. If you don't work on it now, it will still be there. So why not work on it now so that weakness is being removed? So you still accept that feedback, then you analyze it. Once you've analyzed it, now, in terms of whether the person is coming with a good intention or with malicious, it doesn't matter. You can always address that person outside of this criticism. You can address that issue separately. But take that feedback, analyze it, understand exactly what they're trying to say. If you need to go back and get additional information, do so. If you need to talk to somebody that can help you, do so. Now that you have accepted, analyzed, it's time to act upon it. What does that mean? If you need to get a book that will help you understand maybe communication, somebody gave you feedback about how you communicate. You're not an effective communicator. Go buy a book. You are not a good lover. Go buy a book. Go talk to somebody. Go research. Pray. Read the Bible. Do something about it. And then act upon it. Incorporate it. So it's not just about the reading or about getting information. It's about putting it into your life. This is how you act upon feedback that is given to you. My goal is that with this video, you can help for those who are struggling, who struggle a lot with criticism or feedback. Understand that any feedback that you get is to mature you. See, if that person is coming with a malicious intent, now you have become a better version of yourself. Let them continue to act in their evil ways. The Bible says, do not overcome evil. Rather, overcome evil with good. So you take that, help yourself, improve yourself. And that's what I have for this week. We're going to be meeting every week till I meet you next week. Continue to work on transforming yourself step by step so that you are positioned for the greatness that God has placed in your life. Till we meet next week, stay blessed.